Well, we hope that everybody had a great Thanksgiving and maybe you are worn out from all the Black Friday shopping. Well, the Astros have some Black Friday shopping to do of their own. Bargain bin guys for corner positions, but I think we might have the answer in house. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in 2025 and Juan Soto to Boston? Let's talk about it right now.
This is Walker Yannick. You're listening to Locked On Astros podcast.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at h-town wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on X on Facebook, and at Back to the Bullpen on X, on iHeartRadio, and on YouTube. I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And we appreciate every one of y'all that makes this part of your daily routine. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. If you need to go to a concert, a football game, a Rockets game, just go ahead and download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On MLB for your $20 off your first purchase. So I don't know if y'all did a lot of Black Friday shopping today. I did not. I went to go watch Wicked with my daughter, spend some time with my fiance because it was her birthday today. She's out with her friends right now, so that's why I was able to do the podcast right now. But we hope that y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Y'all were able to get some of your presents for the holidays. But now it's kind of time to talk about the Astros. And we know that with what we've heard kind of in the media, I don't know if you want to read too much into this, but Alex Bregman and the Astros may be far apart. You know that he's looking for possibly more than 6 years. And of course, the Astros are not looking to go past 6 years. Maybe they're looking for more than $26 million, him and Scott Boras per season, but that's all the Astros have offered. So the question is, what if Alex Bregman is not going to come back? How could we do some Black Friday shopping and not go out and get the Willy Adameses, go out and get even I think Paul Goldschmidt could technically be a Black Friday option, but at this point of his career, yes, he could be a Black Friday option, but I'm talking about the bargain bin, but you're going to even argue against that today. So we'll go ahead and have some opposing viewpoints here today, but Brett, let's go and get the show started.
Yeah, definitely. I guess Alex Bregman is on everybody's mind in Astros Nation, wondering where he's going to go. But let me just say this, to kind of address the Willy Adames thing. I agree with Chandler Rome when we had him on the show, and he said, if the Astros are willing to pay Willy Adames all that money, but yet they're not willing to pay Alex Bregman all that money, it's going to be a hard thing to sell to the fans. All right. The problem with this league right now, Eric, the problem with Major League Baseball is
the Dodgers.
Is the owners. They are in all these contracts where they have all this shared revenue. Okay. Let me address this with this topic first. The Houston Astros may be in the fourth largest city in America, but the Astros TV revenue is not the fourth highest in Major League Baseball.
Right.
When we market our TV ratings, when we look at our TV ratings, we are not reaching coast to coast. When the Yankees are on TV, they're reaching from coast to coast. When the Dodgers are on TV, they're reaching from coast to coast. The Phillies are a little bit more popular. You've got these teams that have bigger revenue streams, right? Mm-hmm. And so everybody's like, well, why don't we just sign the big deal like all the other guys? Well, yes, technically our owner has the money, but we don't have a way to recoup it. So with all that being said, I think the Astros need to, I'm okay with them staying in-house, and here's why. DeCenzo and Whitcomb, first base, third base, combination of either one. These guys are starting to peak physically. They're young. They're not declining. They're getting better. And if you're going to pay a contract like Alex Bregman wants, you're giving it to a declining Alex Bregman. Yes, you can't replace his leadership. Yes, you can't replace his elite glove. Yes, you can't replace his playoff production. But you also can't make him into a younger Alex Bregman. And here is the question. With DeCenzo hitting the weights in the offseason, with Whitcomb really working hard, do the Astros take a chance and say, you know what, we're confident in our pitching staff. We need to get some relief arms. We know after this year, we've got a lot of dead money coming off the books. Do we just ride with the young guys and hope that they can fill in and do an admirable job? And that way we don't have to get a declining infielder. We don't have to pay a ridiculous contract that we don't want to pay. And we give these young guys a chance because they are prospects. And you never know what you have in a prospect until you let them get out there. Remember, Alex Bregman was 0 for his first 27 at-bats. Alex Bregman didn't have the best start. Alex Bregman is a classic slow starter, but we haven't seen 2019 Alex Bregman since 2019. And if they do that, Eric, are they telling everybody in Astros Nation, we're just going to kind of lay low and hopefully will we become a better version of the A's? You know how the A's will come in with a team that you don't think will compete and they compete with everybody randomly?
Right.
The Astros have more of a complete package going into this situation. Although you do have a few holes, could they punch their way through? I think they still win the West with or without Bregman. That's where I'm starting to go because all this speculating, paying these declining guys, I don't want to do that. Paying another big salary for not paying Bregman, why pay Adames? That's my mindset here. With if Bregman's moving on, then I'm going with what we have in-house.
I think that what happened with Jeremy Pena, that was great. What happened with some of the replacements the Astros have had in the past, Yainer Diaz, you've had a whole bunch of other people kind of come in and replace some stars that have left. That doesn't happen every time. And so if the Astros had a proven person to play a position, I would say, sure, let Bregman go and don't re-sign somebody. But the problem is that the free agency is so void after Bregman. The next best one out there is Yon Makata. He's out there trying to play in every league this offseason to say, hey, I'm still relevant. I'm still popular. And sorry.
I don't think he's singing that song, but go ahead.
That stupid song's in my head right now.
Wow. But, yeah, that's a throwback.
But anyway, so it just, there's a lot of stuff that is going through the Astros' mind right now. So for them to go ahead and just go with two rookies, I know John Singleton's not going anywhere. He's going to be part of the platoon at first base. DeCenzo, he's making his name known over with what he's doing overseas. He's playing some winter ball. So he is opening some eyes. And I think that he deserves to get a shot. I know a lot of fans are going to be a little bit hesitant to give Shea Whitcomb the keys at third base. But he was the offensive MVP or the offensive player of the year in the minor leagues, Astros minor league system. So these are guys that you rely on later on if your main guys are not going through. Like when you have to release Jose Abreu because he's not performing. Hey, let's go and call up Zach DeCenzo or Whitcomb. But I don't know if your team that's trying to compete, you start there. They did so with Jeremy Pena, but it's not always the case. You're not always going to strike gold. And the Astros farm system is very weak compared to other teams. And so to expect somebody to become an automatic star all the time. With that said, I think DeCenzo and Whitcomb are going to be great. Before we go to a break, I do want to address these Valdez for Crochet. I've said it before. I've seen this. A lot of people have put this on comments and everything. The White Sox have no interest in Framber Valdez. They're trying to get younger. They have no interest in trading for somebody like Framber Valdez. If they did, they would be flipping him to another team. But they have no interest in getting Framber Valdez. So can we stop with the let's trade Farmer Valdez for Crochet. That's not what the White Sox are trying to do. They are a bad team. They're trying to rebuild. So they're trying to get prospects. They're trying to get teams for players for the team 3 years from now.
Hey,
not right now.
Eric, I have a very simple solution to all this from someone on TikTok. They said, let Breggy and Tucker walk and just bring in Soto and another pitcher. That easy. It's that easy. And we'll talk on the other side of the break why it's not that easy to just simply sign people.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Go to Game Time today, download the Game Time app, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. I've told you about Game Time over and over again. I promise you, I know some of y'all have used it because you've actually told me through social media. Thank you for Game Time. Thank you for the code, and I'll give you that code at the end of this commercial. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find and buy MLB tickets to every kind of event in your area. Views from all seats in the venue that you're going to, lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, so much more. You've got to go download the app today. It's Game Time. Create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Hey, all you Black Friday shoppers. This is Eric Huysman with the Locked On Astros podcast, and we got some deals. First base, third base, center fielders, we got them here, all at the Locked On Astros podcast. And all you have to do is just throw millions and maybe $1 million or something at these players. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, go ahead and check us out. So, Brett, before this, I just wanted to just clarify that Valdez is an option to be traded. I just don't think it's going to be traded to a rebuilding team like the White Sox. And so I know Lewis Robert, the White Sox are very, very, very eager to trade him.
Of course they are.
They're not going to trade him for a bag of peanuts.
But he also has $22 million attached to him, right, per year. So they've got to take a portion of that. So anytime a player has money attached to them, anytime a player has money attached to them, his value goes down as a trade piece. That's why someone's like, well, why don't we trade dead money for dead money? Well, teams aren't going to do that. Teams aren't going to have Lance McCullers included in the deal. He hadn't pitched in 2 years, and you're still having to pay him. And the Astros aren't going to pay that salary. I mean, they're already paying it anyways. The trade market is very interesting. The signing of free agents is very interesting. Nolan Arenado, Chris Moreno from Juicebox Heroes is in here. He says, have we talked about maybe the Astros trading for Arenado? Right now, currently, I'm out on declining infielders. I don't even want to talk about it.
Let's go.
Yeah, Paul Oldschmidt. I just don't know. Well, is he not old, Eric? Is he on the downside of his career? 1,000%. He is. I mean, that's just a fact. And look, I'm not saying Paul Goldschmidt can't come out and have a good season. I'm not saying Nolan Arenado. I mean, his glove, Nolan Arenado in his prime in an Astros uniform would have been amazing. He's not in his prime anymore. But that's why Juan Soto is so sought after, Eric. And I just want to say this before we move on. There are a lot of speculation, and I've been following several different reporters, guys that are from one from the DR, one from Puerto Rico, and Hector Gomez got some heat from it was funny from Jeff Passan. He said y'all need to go back to spending time with your family and not worrying about like fake reporters reporting deals getting signed. I was like, oh, I see how it is. So I just kind of retweeted some stuff, and the Red Sox have offered him a 13-year deal. What's interesting is David Ortiz has become a minority owner in the Red Sox. Manny Ramirez has recently tagged Juan Soto something on IG. Juan Soto put a picture of him in a Padres uniform. And then, I mean, you've got all these different things going on, right? But here's why I think Juan Soto is going to the Red Sox, and it's going to be announced by December 8th. It's my prediction, okay? I don't have any inside information. My prediction is he goes to the Red Sox. He's always wanted to be a Red Sox. You got Manny Ramirez. You got David Ortiz. You got Pedro Martinez. You got a strong Dominican pool there in Boston. The guys wanted to play there his whole life. Remember Garrett Cole? He went to the Yankees. I think Boston gets the deal done. Him and Devers in the same infield. And they got Wilmer out there in center field. They've got a good core. Chris Sale's pitching well. Chris Sale's not with them anymore. He's with my bad. I took it back way back. But the bottom line is this, Eric. Once that shoe falls, the reason why I mentioned that's when you're going to start seeing things happen. And so does that mean the Phillies or the Yankees go hard after Bregman? And if they do the Astros then turn to a declining infielder or someone that has really good past experience like a Nolan Arenado?
Yeah, somebody like Alec Bohm could be another thing.
Yeah, Alec Bohm. The only problem with Alec Bohm is he's a 1 year, because after this year,
right,
he is a free agent and he's basically a rental. So you would have to trade with them. Can we not do any more rental trades? No more rental trades unless they're going to stay. Could we trade with the Blue Jays and would they give us back Wagner? Could we? I mean, look, I'm just trying to pull. I'm trying to overturn every rock and say, what is under here? Send us Gosman and Vlad Guerrero Jr. We'll send you Framber Valdez. We'll send you Jake Myers, Gold Glove center fielder. We'll even send you, heck, I don't know, Jacob Melton. Just give us back Will Wagner in that deal. I don't know. I'm just,
I think I'd rather have Melton. I think Melton's going to be.
Oh no, me too. I don't want to trade Melton. I'm just saying, like, I don't want any more trades for rentals. I need a guy, and the Astros have got to at some point start trying to get younger. And the only way I think they do that is if they build on DeCenzo and Whitcomb to see what they have this next year, and then after that, maybe go for a big fish.
All right, I want to circle back to the Lewis Robert thing. Lewis Robert is due to make $15 million next year. He'll be 27 years old. In the next 2 seasons, 2026 and 2027, there are $20 million team options with a $2 million buyout in both seasons. So the earliest he could be a free agent is technically after next year. But if the Astros trade, especially significant talent prospects, they'll likely pick up the options unless he just totally drops off the face of the earth. Once again, they would not trade. They would not trade somebody like Framber Valdez to the White Sox. The White Sox have no interest in that. But also, we got to keep in mind that Robert is coming off of a bad season. That does not discount his price. This is not a Black Friday deal you can look for. So he's batting .224 last year with 14 home runs. He had 23 stolen bases and 35 RBIs. So if you're looking at what he's done in the past, the year before, he batted .264 with 38 home runs, 80 RBIs with 20 stolen bases. So that was a big drop-off last year. And I know it was 45 less games, but the White Sox were a joke of a team. Lewis Robert will probably do so much better, especially with the Cuban connection over in Houston. But once again, do the Astros have the talent? Do they have the possibility of trading with the White Sox? Because the White Sox are trying to rebuild. They're trying to get out of being the worst team in history. And so they're trying to get talent. So this is going to hurt. Any trade for Crochet or Robert is going to hurt any team. So let's not think that Melton and that's it will get you Lewis Robert. It's going to take a lot more.
And look, I know I've been seeing a lot of highlights of Bryce Matthews. There's been a lot of talk about Bryce Matthews this, Bryce Matthews that. But from what the people I talk to that understand and know the minor leagues well, they just say Bryce Matthews is not there yet. He is not ready to roll. And so he is not just a plug and play guy. He's got some time. He's got some holes in his swing. Yeah, he just hit another home run down there in the Puerto Rican League. but that's different. And DeCenzo's been hitting well down there too. I mean, Jose Abreu's been hitting well. So really, how much of a real barometer are those things? Because you're not facing the best of the best like you do in Major League Baseball. But you know what? The Angels went out there and they spent a ton of money in this offseason. We know their history and the success of their signings. I think this may be the year that maybe some of the signings they bring in will actually help them. The Angels are going to compete. I don't know what the Rangers are going to do. Huh?
They're the Angels still.
But they're not the A's. And I think they're going to, if Seattle doesn't do much to move the needle, I mean, Seattle just disappoints every year. So the Angels may turn into that A's team, right? That really competes against us. So I still think we win the division, Eric.
Well, the Astros, they have this player that whenever he plays against them, he crushes them, including crushes their chance this past season. We'll talk about that next. Is this a guy the Astros should go out and sign?
Are you ready for some football and a Monday night party? That's right. I remember that song. I know you do. FanDuel is helping you tackle the action this year. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book because right now new customers can bet $5 and you get $150 in bonus bets. That's right, $150. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need all in one place to place live bets. You don't have to go all over the internet to find what you're looking for. In the middle of a game, if you get a hunch, you can view play-by-play action, so much more on the same page you place your bets. So just visit FanDuel.com and join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Monday night party.
Attention shoppers. We have some great Black Friday deals for a first base or third base. So all you have to do is contact the Locked On Astros podcast. Go and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go ahead and check us out. So I don't go back to last season, Brett. One of the worst series of the seasons has to be when the Astros were swept by the Reds. And I believe that the reason why the Astros were swept was Ty freaking France. He crushed the Astros in that series.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where you were going with that when you mentioned it. I was like, who is he talking about? I'm like,
Ty
David
France
Eckstein
has always been an Astros killer. Going back to the playoffs, going back to the time with the Mariners. So Ty France is available. And this is a guy that the Astros were rumored to try to trade for last year. But of course, he ended up getting traded to the Reds. This is a guy that can possibly play second base. I put air quotes there. He could possibly play third base. I put air quotes there because a lot of people question his ability to play those positions. But we know he could play first base. That is definitely an option. And that's a position of need for the Houston Astros. So if you really want a great Black Friday deal, it's Ty France. It's somebody that if he goes and plays for the Yankees, or if he goes and plays for the Mariners again, or a team that you're going to have to face a lot, he's not going to kick your butt when you have to face him.
Yeah, so the Astros actually just signed a player, Eric. He's 6'1". He's a first baseman. He's 29, and they signed him to a minor league contract, okay? Now, here's the catch. He's been in minor league since 2013.
Okay.
He's a career 276 hitter. His last line was 370, 422, 812. Then when you look deeper into it, he hit 356, slugged 636, and 415 plate appearances with 62 Ks to 58 walks ratio in an independent ball last year. Okay. He hasn't played affiliated ball since he was 25 in 2021, which is AA, but he's also hitting 312 with a 15 to 12 K to walk ratio in the Venezuelan Winter League this season. So am I saying he's an answer? I don't know. The Astros signed a 29-year-old to a minor league contract, 6'1" at one time, had a lot of promise. but he's there. They are looking to get creative. I am thinking they are going to see if they can find a diamond in the rough. Have they found the next Jeremy Pena? Probably not, but they are not. I mean, look, why are they doing this? They're probably doing these things because now, oh, look, we got 4 guys to replace the 1 guy we lost. And Dubon, I think if you don't bring in a mainline guy, any of the guys we've mentioned, then Dubon will absolutely take up some time at third base. So he will be part of a platoon, but he won't be the majority guy. It'll, I believe, be more of a Whitcomb or DeCenzo type player. But that guy fits first base. If he comes in, I mean, low risk, high reward. Who knows? Ty France, who knows? I mean, we're all speculating here, folks.
Yeah. But going back to Ty France, he was DFA'd by the Mariners, and the Reds picked him up. That's what I was talking about. The Astros.
Exactly.
There talks about the Astros claiming him if he passed through waivers to them, and they would make a claim. But of course, the Reds did not have a good record. According to Spotrac, I don't know if this is accurate, but his market value is 5 years, $69 million. That's about $13.9 million per season.
Who was that again? Ty France?
Yes.
Really?
So that's what his market value is compared to, he's only 30 years old. So it's not like he's an old fart or anything.
You know, let me,
While you're looking at that, the other guys out there, I know Anthony Rizzo is a guy that the Astros have tried to sign or in the past. So he's a name that's probably not going to be a Black Friday type of deal, but you could probably still get a little bit cheaper. Carlos Santana is at the end of his career, but he still had some productive seasons, especially last year with the Twins. A name that I can't believe he's only 31 years old, but he does strike out a lot, is Joey Gallo. Maybe he'll bring some better air conditioning to Dyken Park.
Air conditioning by what? Whiffs? By striking out?
Yes.
Eric, we're trying to get better. We're not trying to get worse. Now, at least with the guys I've named, there's still hope. But look, Ty France, he has been in decline for a couple seasons, Eric. Right. He has not. I mean, he went from 270. He went from like literally 309 in 2020, right? 302, 291, 274, 250, 234, 223, 251 in Cincinnati. He hasn't had an OPS plus over 100 I guess in 2023, he was at 101. But before that, he was 133, 140, 128, 125. So he was doing really well. His OPS was high. His OPS has dropped but 200 points. Again, is this one of these guys? He strikes out a lot more now than he used to. Right. He doesn't have the power production that he used to. So there's a reason. Remember, the Mariners were one of the worst offenses in Major League Baseball, and he got DFA'd.
Right.
So that's not exactly a glowing recommendation. No, I'm just saying that's
just a bargain bin type of thing.
That's what we're dealing with in replacing or putting someone at first, putting someone at third. Is there's not a whole lot of options, folks. You know,
like a Goldschmidt is another guy out there. You got Pete Alonso. I think the Astros have no chance for him. You have Josh Bell. I don't think the Astros will go out after Josh Bell. I think that he's probably going to cost too much. The only other person out there is Christian Walker. Christian Walker has the qualifying offer attached. Then you have the guy that a lot of fans would love to bring back. He is 40 years old, and Yuli Gurriel, but he did have a great run at the end of the season with the Royals, but I don't know if the Astros would do that. So that's what you have at first base. So at third base, Yoan Moncada is expected to be worth about, what is his market value? $1.5 million next year.
The only problem with Moncada is his injury history. Mm-hmm. The guy cannot stay on the field.
$1.5 million.
Yeah.
That's a bargain bin. That's a bargain bin fine. He's trying to prove himself in the across the easy.
Look, if Yoan could get back to his 2019 form, 315, 25 home runs, 5 triples, 34 doubles, 79 RBI. He received 21 MVP votes, or he was 21st MVP voting, right? I mean, this guy, his OPS plus was 140 that year. Insane production in 2019. 5.2 WAR, has not matched that, came close to it, kind of, in 2021. But look, that guy is still young enough that I wouldn't mind a reclamation project of someone like that. And maybe being around the players he's around would help him. We know that Yohan Moncada is Cuban, so we have Yordan Alvarez here. You know, we have a Cuban connection. There is a strong, Hispanic heritage in this entire ball club. And so maybe I think Yohan Moncada is not a bad name to throw out there. And is not someone that a lot of people are talking about. He's the kind of guy that I would trust more than an Arenado, than a Goldschmidt, because he's not up there in years like they are. He's 29 and 8 and 186 days years old. So I think there might be a better chance. There might be a real high upside there. So you know what? Hey, Eric, let's call Crane after the show and let's tell him to sign Yohan.
A guy I actually think the Astros might actually go after is a guy who was non-tendered by the Cubs. You may or may not have heard of him, Patrick Wisdom.
Yeah, Patrick Wisdom would be great. Would be a great pickup. Yeah.
So he's coming off a bad season. Like he is not a good batting average person. His OPS is typically in the high 780s or 823, 789, 725. But last year dropped to 629. He batted 171 with 8 home runs, 23 RBIs. So Eric, why are you suggesting him? The year before he had 23 home runs, 46 RBIs, and only 96 games, only 302 plate appearances. The season before he had 25 home runs and 66 RBIs, and then 28 home runs the year before, 61. This is probably going to be a ultimate bargain bin basement type find. This is a guy that's trying to rebuild his career. He is only 33 years old, so he still can probably play for at least 2 more seasons until maybe even just 1 season until you can turn over the keys to Zenzo or somebody else at first base. So he also plays third base.
I found another utility player.
Who?
Victor Caratini. He's played 7 games at third base. He's pitched in 5 games, and he's played left field, outfield, or right field 1 time in each of the.
Caratini.
I'm just telling you, Caratini and Dubon, the ultimate dynamic utility duo. So our third base rotation is going to be Whitcomb, Caratini, Dubon. Who else? Who else can we throw over there? If we get Yohan Moncada, grab him. I'm just saying, I don't expect them, if they don't get Bregman, I don't expect them to spend a lot of money, and I don't mind if they stay in-house.
Yeah. So maybe the Astros need to just reach out to Bregman. Hey, you know what? Let's do what the Dodgers are doing. Let's go ahead and give you a pretty big, like a $20 million signing bonus, and let's just defer the rest of it for the rest of your lifetime. How about that?
I incorrectly stated the other night when I did the solo show, I was talking about the deferred contracts, and I didn't realize that I had said it this way, but $40 million, I believe, is what the Dodgers have a cap hit against them, even though he's only getting $2 million. And deferred contracts have been around a lot longer than I thought. I hadn't realized, outside of the Bobby Bonilla, I don't remember it happening, but apparently deferred contracts has been a thing. Here's my problem, Eric, and I think we should talk about this at length. We need to talk about new rules, because we know that the robo umpiring is going to come in, spring training that will come in 2026. But this deferred contract should there be a percentage? Should there be a cap on how much money you have deferred for how long and things like that? I think you need to be careful with, because if you look at all the contracts that are deferred in LA alone, it's insane. but they're not the only ones that deferred. Devers is deferred. I forget the other big names that I named the other night. We've got a lot of other athletes that are making big money that have deferred contracts.
They just deferred Tommy Elman today.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
they signed him to a 5-year. I think he got a $50 million signing bonus, and the rest is deferred, or it's something crazy like that. And it's just, I don't know
Yeah,
exactly. Don't quote me on the details, but
someone here on TikTok said it's called MLB layaway program. You remember that? You remember your mom's like, I got to go to Walmart. I'm like, why are you making a layaway payment on my Christmas present? You can't do that anymore, kids. But
okay, so
yeah.
apparently it's a 5-year, $74 million extension, and I think 50. So I want to say it was like 40 million of it was the signing bonus,
Oh, let me
or
see.
something. The rest of it was deferred. Or
How did I miss that? Okay,
so,
right here, 5 years, $74 million extension. Tommy Edman. And then you said how much of it is deferred? Like 50 million?
it's something crazy, but
Good Lord.
so the Dodgers are going to be paying for this World Series for many years.
The only way the Dodgers ownership is going to survive is they file bankruptcy. They're going to file bankruptcy in like 2030, dude. It's insane. Teoscar Hernandez is deferred payments. Oh, and did you know this? Bobby Bonilla also had a deferred contract from another club. I think it was the Giants or somebody. He had 2 deferred contracts. He didn't just have one. He had 2. This dude was a genius. He's a time traveler. I'm convinced of it. But hey,
here's the Shohei Ohtani of the day.
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla is. I'm gonna tell my grandkids that Shohei Ohtani is Bobby Bonilla. But hey, Eric, this has been a great show. Thanks for coming in, dude. I know you've been busy with family. I was busy with my family. Eric, I'll just let you know this. I prepared 90% of the Thanksgiving meal. I had 3 teenage boys all approve of everything I cooked. Mm-hmm. And you can't find approval. You can't buy approval like that. And so I was really excited. Know about you. You had like 3 Thanksgivings. You were like all over the place. How did everything go? Did everything go well?
It went pretty good. I had Thanksgiving with my mom and stepdad, and then I went to Conroe for my dad and stepmom, and then I went with my fiance with her big extended family. And so I
saw that. Yeah.
Stuffing, and they're like, you made the stuffing? I'm like, yeah, made it cornbread and everything. And I made it from hand. And they're like, because they've never had cornbread stuffing before. So it's something new. So anyway, so guys, that hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving. This was a special Black Friday edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. We'll be back on Sunday to talk some more Astros baseball. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey, and we are the Locked On Astros podcast. And go Stros.
Go Stros. Someone said go Robo-Umps.